Okay, now I'm not gonna lie. Okay, hold on. Forgot to move myself down here when I do unit reviews. Now I'm not gonna lie. I think I pulled like 3 copies of this guy. I used him, and he was hitting quite hard. He was hitting quite hard, and I was low key impressed by him. I was kind of impressed, but I mean that was granted. I was inside the little Dragon Ball Heroes event content thing that they had for Dokkan recently. So we're gonna talk about Warrior in Black Goku, with the Dark Dragon Ball boost. And yeah, let's just jump straight into it. I feel like he can do some things. No, I feel like the only thing is with him is that the enemy has to be at a specific amount of HP for him to do work. Yeah, because that's how I was feeling when I was using him yesterday. I did not put any crit into him, by the way, if you guys are wondering. I built him, basically like almost full dodge, but then like put some additional on him, because I had some of the crossover equips from the shop. So today, we're gonna talk about this Warrior in Black Goku, Super Saiyan Dark Dragon Ball boost. His leader skill is Super Saiyan's 3 ki and 130% across the board, and his passive that being boost received through the Dark Dragon Balls, 2 ki and 150% attack and defense at the start of the turn, and a unrestricted 30% chance to crit. And this card gets an additional 100% attack and defense when attacking, and gets an additional 150% attack and an additional 30% chance to crit when the enemy's HP is 70% or less, and also an additional 150% attack and an additional 30% chance to crit when attacking an enemy when the enemy's HP is 40% or less, and an additional 50% attack and launches a guarantee super if the enemy has their attack, defense, if they're stunned or they're sealed, of course, attack and defense debuffed. And this card also gets 40% damage reduction, as well as an additional 15% within the same turn before attacking an enemy whose HP is 70% or less, an additional 15% damage reduction within the same turn before attacking an enemy whose HP is 40% or less, and gets an additional 100% attack and defense, and launches a guarantee super for the rest of the battle after delivering the final blow. So first things first, this card really wants to be one of those cards that are that's always sitting on rotation inside the second slot, inside the second turn, and going onward. Like let's say, for example, like you have the universal like tree, that blue Goku that we got for Dragon Ball Heroes, right? Let's say you have him inside the other rotation next to God Trunks, which is actually a pretty formidable rotation. Let's say you have those two, and you have this guy plus who else? I guess you run. Would you run you can run who's his best linking partner? I can't really think of anybody off the top of my head. Hell no. You're don't you want a Giant 8 power character? Let me double check. I don't exactly remember. No, I did not mean to pull that up. Let me see. Let me get you and let me get you. Who do you want again? I don't remember. You want 2 or more Giant 8 power categories allies on the team. Oh my god, I cannot speak. So yeah, no, probably not gonna run that guy. Okay, let's say for whatever reason, let's just use Demigra, right? Demigra? No, not Demigra. Oh my god. What's his name? Meki Gabora. I called him Demigra. Anyways, let's say that you're running Meki Gabora right next to this guy on turn 2. So you want the first rotation to do as much damage to the boss as possible, so that when this guy comes back on rotation, he'll have that damage reduction. He'll be able to get all that attack as well as that crit chance, so he can be able to light the boss up and get the final blow. The only issue is that more often than not, you'd have to move Meki Gabora out of the first slot so you can get this guy inside the first slot so he can finish off the boss to get the final blow off. That's the only thing that it could provide a bit of an issue, and of course it is content specific, but this guy really excels when you're going up against a enemy whose HP is at a specific amount of specific amount of HP left. That sounds weird, but I tried to piece it together as best as possible. But yeah, that's pretty much to sum up this guy. At the start of turn, all he really has to his name is 40% damage reduction, as well as that 100% attack and defense when attacking. This is pretty much all he has. He has this, as well as what? And this, granted, the enemy is debuffed in all those specific ways, as well as the damage reduction. Yeah, so he is one of those characters that, could he really excel inside the third slot instead of the second slot? It's like it could be effective for him to be inside the second slot, no? For him to get that final blow off? I mean, he could work inside the third slot. He could. certainly that's granted the boss is at a specific amount of HP. Yeah, I mean, if the conditions are right for this guy, he can look very impressive. I feel like after reading this guy's details, because I've read his details very, very late, I feel like he's not terrible. I don't think he's terrible. He's not terrible. I don't think so. Yeah, because at his best, but his best is actually, is it tough to get? Because at his best, you want the enemy's HP to be at 40% or less. And more often than not, some of these characters are just really strong in this day and age in Dokkan. And outside of like, it's like, but the thing is with him is that he's not like bound to heroes. He could be ran on other teams, no? Considering the fact that his only restrictions is to the enemy's HP being at a specific amount. So at his best, when the enemy's at 40% or less HP, he can get up to what? That's like a 90% chance to crit, because that's 30 right over here. That's 30 right over here. And he gets 150% attack right over here. What else? And 150% attack right over here. So that's up to 300% attack just right over here separately, as well as that 100% attack and defense when attacking, as well as up to a 90% chance to crit. Granted, that all stacks on top of each other, because that's his plus an additional 30% chance to crit. And granted, of course, the enemy could be debuffed. I mean, you debuff the enemy, you just get a guaranteed super out of him just out of the gate. Yeah, with additional attack, as well as of course the enemy's at the 40% or less HP threshold. You get up to, that's 40, that's 55, and that is 70% damage reduction, as well as upwards of 300% attack right over here. Yeah, I mean, in total though, when attacking, that's 300% attack, and that's an additional 100% defense. So that's 400% attack and 100% defense when attacking, as well as a 90% chance to crit from right over here from his unrestricted crit chance, and the additional 50% attack. I mean, the moral of the story is that you want this guy to be, you want this guy inside the second, you want him inside the second rotation, right? Or either as a floater, but it could provide a bit of an issue if he is a floater. Could it possibly? I mean, it is definitely fight specific, and of course, you don't have to run this guy on heroes. That's the thing, you don't, because he's not bound to heroes, because he doesn't have heroes or crossover or time travelers restrictions, for example. So yeah, that is really just the gist of this guy. I don't think he's too shabby. It is just really like fight specific, and like for all like the meta fights, could this guy work? Go Frieza is probably ripping him apart, no? Go Frieza is tearing this guy to shreds. Bulma? Could he do well in Bulma? Okay, that's enough of that. But yeah. Anyways, his best looking partner is AGL Bardock. Does he have family ties or something? No, he doesn't. He has the Saiyan lineage, experienced fighters, Super Saiyan, Saiyan warrior race, Saiyan pride, prepare for battle, and fierce battle are his links. He is on 8 categories. And yeah, okay, he's just a thousand, almost 1,000 off for his stats, up to 10,000 defense, which would be a nice baseline for him to have. It's like, could they have just like made him a different typing and just shaved off 1,000% attack, 4,000% not 1,000% defense, but just a flat 1,000 attack for his potential system? Possibly. But hey, Dokkan's main focal point of this guy's design is to have you go up against a boss who has a specific amount of HP. Granted, he could get that boss to that specific amount of HP, but hey, it is really just, it's just fight dependent, team dependent, excuse me, and all the other good stuff. But yeah, that's all it is for this guy. And he gets 50% attack and defense in one turn, as well as greatly lowering the enemy's attack and defense, which of course directly supports his guaranteed super and additional attack, which is obviously nice. Issue is that he's only really gonna have this 40% damage reduction. If he's not doing damage to the boss, and of course going up against a specific enemy, he can get cooked. Just makes a whole lot of sense. I definitely say that. Would he be? I mean, this is for all Dragon Ball Heroes characters. No, is he dupe dependent? Probably so. Anyways, now this guy, get this guy off the screen. 200% of these goes that he's on. He is on, what's that? That's 8, 9, 10. Hopefully like you three get a UZA next year. That'd just be golden. That'd be beautiful. But yeah, it more than likely be you two. And Hearts, no? Hearts came out with these guys, right? Am I crazy? Let me see. Yeah, 2022. Yeah, you came out with Hearts, right? You did. Okay. God bless. Yeah, best single pointer is AGL Bardock. 4 keys, 75% attack, 10% defense. You would never run AGL Bardock right next to this guy. It would probably, not you. You're gonna be nasty when you get a UZA, but not you. Yeah, no. No. Maybe when you get a UZA, but still no. Hell no to all these guys. Uh, yeah. Yeah, so that's about it. I wanted to pull up a clip where this guy is just looking pretty bananas. Yeah. So he has a good amount of support in this turn. Let's see what he can do. Yeah, he's gonna debuff. Yeah, look at the HP that he's at. Yeah, it just makes a whole lot of sense. 17 million. This is just like a great condition for him with support. And then we're just gonna show that nuke in turn. Shout out to Dokkan Roar, by the way. I'll leave his link to his videos when I use him down below inside the description below. Takes a super. Takes 100k. Wow. Okay. Let's go and skip on over to the nuking turn. Oh my god, every link active. Just about. Okay. Alright, so what's this guy getting? Let's go and see. 25 million. Give us another. Of course he does. He debuffed the enemy. Why wouldn't he? 39 million. This kills, right? This kills. I appreciate you guys watching. You guys are the best. I'll catch you guys in the next video. I absolutely love you all. Peace.